So welcome everybody. Welcome to A Taste of Connection. And this theme came out of my own experience of finally sort of like seeing the light, having an experience of connection. Actually, after taking my first, like, I think it was probably like 13-week series or something. I was like totally brand new, struggling in relationships and friendships, and even uh, my job situations weren't going in ways that I enjoyed, and I actually got to a point of having enough like growth to realize something was off. And I invited my NVC teacher to go with me to an event. Actually, I invited him to church. I was a church-going person back then. And he asked me, well, what does that look like? And I kind of described what went on. And he said, well, I'm not really into that, but I hear that you're wanting some connection. Is that right? And in that moment, I looked inside and I saw something for the first time that I hadn't experienced before. That word that he invited me to consider, that word connection, really resonated inside of me in a way that I'm not sure how to describe it really. It's like he touched something in me that I knew was true. And at that moment, I just felt totally gotten and understood. And it was in that moment that I got to taste connection for the first time. It's like, and it was sort of like an embodied experience that, I felt like a rush of energy uh, coming in. So that's why we're here. I'm hoping that you will have similar connections to yourself and to another person. So while what I like doing in groups like this is to start with some icebreakers. And these are like super easy. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort. And I think we're just going to start there. I want to make sure that this is fun. So we're going to be doing breakout rooms. And let's see. Yeah, we're going to do several breakout rooms. And it'll be more fun if we'll do breakout rooms of 4. And what I'd like you to do is to answer the question, my ideal world is one in which? And each person will have 2 minutes to answer that question. And we're not really, during this stage, I'm inviting you just to answer the question in the group, be heard. Not really looking for a lot of feedback. I invite the people that aren't answering the question just to listen, and try to listen attentively and try to be present to what they're saying. And we'll give basically 2 minutes per person, and there are going to be 4 of you in a group. So we'll come back after 8 minutes and we'll see how that went. All right. Any questions about what we're doing?
Okay.
Good. All right. And if you get stuck, you can ask for help in the button below in your room, and I'll go and show up. But again, so after 2 minutes, I will send out a little broadcast message to let you know to switch to another person. All right, so we're experimenting with 4 people in a group. That's more than what I usually do, but this is a little experiment here. We'll see how it goes. All right, so have fun in your groups, and we'll see you in 4 minutes. Well, actually, it'll be 12 minutes. See you soon. All right. Hoping that that was enjoyable and that everything worked out well. We're going to slightly modify the experiment, and we'll go with 2 people per group. And I'm going to recreate. Hi, Arthi. Glad you could make it.
Hi.
So I'm going to recreate the room so that we have 2 participants per room. And yeah, let's see if we can split 3 people up. Okay, good. And hopefully you get new people. I don't know how Zoom does this, but yeah, the idea is that we're, getting to know each other and kind of breaking the ice, creating a little trust. All right, so for this question, I'd like you to tell us about one of your happiest times. You get to pick what time in your life is the happiest. And this time you'll have about 2 minutes each, and I'll give you a little side on both starting and ending. So we'll probably be back in about 6 minutes. So that's the question. Tell us about one of your happiest times, and each person has about 2 minutes. And after that, we'll come back and we'll see if we learned anything from it. And again, the person listening, just asking you to be present to what the other person is saying. All right, and if you get stuck, you can quit, come back, or just call me into the room and I'll be there. All right, so welcome back. It's nice to see people smile when they come back. So just want to spend a little time debriefing. How was it for you to share about your happiest times, or I can't even remember the other question. Your ideal world, yes. Love to hear from a couple of people.
I'll share.
Yeah, go ahead, Vanessa.
I think one of the things I noticed when we were sharing about our ideal world is that I think there was certainly a lot of longing in what each of us shared. And in my little group for the happiest times, just a bunch of joy. So, but both of them really nice experiences.
Yeah, so you felt some joy as you were sharing that?
Yes, yes.
All right, thanks, Vanessa.
Thank you.
Looking for someone else to share. Gosh, Tim, yeah, awesome. Looks like you were moving. How was it?
I was moving that direction. It was interesting because kind of when you asked the first question, I think I kind of, I went to the second question to say, well, what would my ideal world look like? Well, it would be when I'd been the happiest. And so it kind of, right, it came to that place. And what it came to me was that for me, my ideal world is one where people are human beings, not human doings, and that they're kind and are connected with others and can see past the materialism and past the, the dividing lines that we've drawn, and they're just there. And so for me, that manifests, I spent a fair amount of time in Central America, Costa Rica, and Panama. And I really have that sense of them when they're that people are just plain kind. They're just kind people. You don't know will wave, and people go out of their way to help you any way you can. So, for me, those are some of my happiest times, just interacting with people that I've never met and will probably never see again. And they're just kind out of the generosity of their soul and their spirit. So.
Did you feel happy sharing about those experiences?
At first there was a little bit of like, I don't want to share it because it'll spoil it, and it's kind of a private thing. And then that just kind of vaporized, and yeah, I felt wide open about it.
All right. So as you felt open in sharing that, would you say that you also felt happy? Is that
Yes, absolutely. Sharing the joy. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Once I get past that little ego self, you don't deserve this thought that was running there for a couple seconds, and I felt safe and felt like I, had connected with the person I was talking with, and yeah, things opened up, and I was able to let that kind of shine through.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah, thanks for sharing your experience. Also, want to invite, how was it for you to be a listener? You were invited to be able to listen and be present to whoever was speaking. Does anyone want to speak to that? And I'm curious about any feelings that came up while you were listening.
I'll speak up. I was actually Tim's partner for the last exercise, and how it was for me to be a listener was I fell into, what he was talking about, the happiness of being in an environment of kind people. I just fell into whatever he was sharing. It connected me to that too. So I felt his joy and his enthusiasm for what he was talking about. It made me feel, I could feel that inside me. I haven't been to Costa Rica, but
yeah, so you felt joyful.
Yeah,
and,
so, yeah, it was a clear, nice connection.
Thanks, Annalise. All right.
Ron would like to say something.
Go ahead, Ron. Yes, thanks, Magdalena. Go ahead, Ron.
Oh, okay. So no, I really appreciated the hearing about Christina's experiences and what she was joyful about, and it reminds me of this one of my favorite quotes. It's a Swedish proverb about shared joy is doubled and shared sorrow is halved. And so hearing her share hers made me happy for her too. So I got to share in that joy. So
you got to double your joy.
Yeah,
nice.
Double my joy.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you.
Let's see, people whose voices I haven't heard yet, like to invite those.
Yeah, well, I'll just comment on what Ron just said in terms of it's really nice when you're speaking to somebody and you're hearing about what makes them happy. You just automatically feel happy for them. So I completely agree about the double the joy. It really is nice. It's just that you're sharing a space with somebody, and that joy and happiness, it's infectious. So I really enjoyed that.
Thank you, Christina. All right. Part of my growth thing is in Zoom to allow space for people to speak up, and which is different than when we're in person. So just providing a little bit more space for those who haven't spoken up yet to say something. Go ahead, Colleen.
Yes, hi. I want to just say I enjoyed my first group too. Great group of people, and we had a few laughs. In the second session though, one of the things the other person said was that talking about some of these joyful memories actually was making them feel sad now because it's in the past and that person is no longer in their current life. And so it was sort of nostalgic, I guess would be the word.
So you felt nostalgic?
I didn't feel nostalgic. I think she did, because she said it made her feel a little sad to think about these happy times in the past, which can no longer be.
And how was it for you to hear that?
Actually, for me to hear it, I totally understood where she was coming from. Totally understood where she was coming from. In fact, I said, when she was talking, I said, join the club. So I could totally relate. I felt like we connected on a couple of levels. I was with Takako, and actually she was talking about one of her.
So can I just pause
Sure.
real quick?
Yeah.
Just invite you to share about your experience.
Yes. Yes.
And then allow her to have hers.
Yes. Yes. What I wanted to say about my own was just in response to your question. What's one of your, happiest moments or most joyful moments? I was actually kind of taken aback to realize that I was like flooded with happy moments. I think because of the way things are now in this country and world, it kind of took me by surprise to think, gee, wow, yeah, I have had a lot of happy moments in my life.
Mm. So did you notice like feeling more relaxed when you tuned into those happy moments?
I would say inflated almost.
Mm.
In a good way,
Mm. Thanks, Colleen.
fulfilled or something.
Fulfilled. Thank you. Takako, I see your hands raised.
Yeah, since cat is out of the bag. No, so
There's a cat? Where's the cat?
When you pause that question, pose that question,
Yeah.
I thought, oh no, I immediately felt sad and kind of scared going into the room. So I stated that and reason why, and my partner responded very kindly, like, oh, she could relate, and so that made me relax, and I could focus on the happy part. And what was amazing is that she knew somebody who had a similar experience, sounds like, and wrote a book about it. So I'm excited that I hope to read this book someday. And then she shared totally different stories, which was also joyful that I could relate. I mean, not exactly the same, but so it was nice. It's like how I guess the intent of connecting and kind of feeling energized in a way like I myself alone couldn't do, right?
So it sounds like it was supportive to have her there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned that at the beginning when you got to share like your anxiety and all that having her just be there with you allowed you to relax a little bit?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I reacted completely different from what I thought I would, right? When I think about happy thing, I usually cry these days because oh, I don't have that anymore, right? Which wasn't the case in sharing this time. So
thanks, Takako. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, unless there's a burning share and people want to like super go for it, I'd like to close this part out and maybe formalize, maybe formalize is not the right word. Yeah, go on to the next thing. All right, let's do that.